Losing your job, watching your income disappear, and wondering how you will pay for tomorrow can make it feel like your whole life is falling apart. But losing what once made you feel secure does not mean God has left you without a future. This season can expose what held your trust, change your direction, and prepare you for what comes next. Here are 5 signs God may be rebuilding your life through financial loss. Number 1. Your lost income exposes what you were trusting. When your paycheck disappears, fear shows you what your heart had started to treat as your source. A job pays the bills, but it was never meant to carry the full weight of your peace, your worth, or your future. When that income stops, the pressure is real because rent still comes, food still costs money, and people still depend on you. But that pressure also reveals where your trust was resting. Philippians 4:19 says, "But my God shall supply all your need, according to his riches, in glory, by Christ Jesus." Your employer was a channel. God is the source. Losing one channel does not mean God has run out of ways to provide. This is where faith moves from something you say into something you must live. You start asking what you truly believe when the numbers no longer make you feel safe. And when that false sense of control breaks, God begins rebuilding your trust on something deeper than a monthly deposit. Number 2. The closed door stops you from staying where you no longer belong. Being fired feels personal because the door did not close on a plan alone. It closed on your routine, your role, your income, and the future you had pictured. That is why we fight so hard to reopen what has already ended. We replay the meeting. We question our value. We keep looking back at the place that no longer has a seat for us. Proverbs 16:9 says, "A man's heart deviseth his way, but the Lord directeth his steps." Your plan ended. God's direction did not. The job you lost was one road, not your whole future. A closed door forces you to stop building tomorrow around a place that has already released you. At first, it feels like rejection. Then your eyes begin to turn toward a new direction. You notice skills you ignored, people you never called, work you never considered, and paths you were too comfortable to explore. What ended behind you now forces you to look at what could still be ahead. Number 3. Financial pressure reveals what must change. When money becomes tight, the habits that stayed hidden during better days become impossible to ignore. You see where money was leaking, which debts were growing, which choices were driven by pride, and which parts of your work life had stopped moving forward. That exposure hurts, but it also gives you something comfort rarely gives you: a clear view of what needs to change. Proverbs 27:23 says, "Be thou diligent to know the state of thy flocks, and look well to thy herds." God does not call us to close our eyes to the numbers. He calls us to face what is real and care for what has been placed in our hands. You may need to cut costs, learn a new skill, change how you manage debt, or stop chasing a lifestyle your income cannot carry. This crisis is not only showing you what you lost, it is showing you what must be rebuilt before you move forward. And that kind of clarity can become one of the most useful things you carry into your next season. Number 4. Lack teaches you what you truly need. When there is less money, every purchase starts to ask a harder question. Do I need this, or did I need the feeling this gave me? A steady income can hide how much we depend on comfort, status, convenience, and the power to buy without thinking. Loss strips much of that away. Then you begin to see the difference between having enough and having everything you want. 1 Timothy 6:6 says, "But godliness with contentment is great gain." Contentment does not mean pretending the bills are easy. It means your peace is no longer tied to having more before you can breathe again. You learn to value food on the table, people who stay, useful work, wise choices, and the strength to make it through one day at a time. That shift changes more than your budget. It changes what you call wealth, and when income returns, You do not have to build your life around the same wants that once controlled you. Number 5. When the old plan dies, you finally see another path. When the future you planned disappears, you are forced to look beyond the life you thought you had to keep. The job is gone. The business failed. The income that once shaped your choices is no longer there. That loss creates an empty space, but it also gives you room to notice what you kept ignoring. Isaiah 43:19 says, "Behold, I will do a new thing. Now it shall spring forth. Shall ye not know it? I will even make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert." God is not limited to rebuilding the exact life you lost. The next path can involve a skill you never used, work you never considered, a business idea you kept delaying, or people you would never have met while staying comfortable. You do not need to see the whole road today. You need enough faith to take the next wise step. Your old source of income ended, but your future did not end with it. What looks empty now can become the place where a new direction begins. What you lost was real, and the fear you feel does not disappear just because you have faith. But losing your job, your business, or your main source of income does not mean God has lost sight of your life. This season can strip away false security, expose what needs to change, and open your eyes to a path you could not see before. You may not know how everything will work out yet, but this chapter does not get the final word. If you are walking through financial loss right now, comment, "God, lead my next step."